Alright, hey guys, this is Bezmor, and today I've got a couple of 1v1s and then sort of a 2v1-ish, 2v2-ish thing that it'll make more sense why I call it that in a minute or so. But anyways, this guy's talking some mad trash in PMs, and I was just like, oh, okay, because I think I was unbuffed, and he and another Sin ganked me with like full buffs, and I was like, well, fine. So I usually almost never use the Spirit of Defense, but I was like, I'll just use it. And I go back out to find that, of course, the person who's talking trash isn't even out here to try and, back up what they say. That's what I find funny is like there's people who talk trash, but then like they'll also actually fight you. And then there's people who just talk trash because they think they're awesome or whatever. So anyways, I came out and I was just like, you know what? I'll 1v1 this guy and wait to get ganked. But here's a mistake that I see a lot is these people just like to drop their APOS so quickly. And I like it didn't seem to me that that particular use of the Apoth was a survival, like he absolutely needed it to survive, especially considering that he stealthed right there, which he could have just done without using the Apoth. But if you're going to use your Apoth offensively, which is a really good thing to do it right, don't do it when a psychic can just hop up into the air and waste, 3 seconds of your Apoth by flying away or something like that. You should always try to set something up so that you get the advantage of it completely. But anyways, at this point the fight is pretty much done because I'm in black voodoo the whole time and he's having trouble like killing me and I'm just destroying him when his magic defense charms aren't up. So anyways, that was the first 1v1 and I believe I'm going to 1v1 or kill a seeker just because he's here and he's in a different faction and I was like, why not? But after I kill the Seeker, the next clip you're going to see is where I 2v1 Mr. Trash Talker and that Sin again, which is a lot more interesting in my opinion. But anyways, here again, this is a weird Apoth use. It's like, I'm not entirely sure what he was going for there, because he didn't seem to use a very good setup combo. He just kind of dropped his Apoth and went ham. But, I think I outgear this guy pretty hard, so it doesn't make much of a difference. By the way, the telekinesis skill, after getting it, I've been really liking it. There's definitely a couple things that I miss about having the two separate skills, but telekinesis is just really awesome. When you're hitting, along a pretty tanky person, I immediately tab to them and I throw it on them immediately, and then proceed to do my normal damage, and then that sudden burst oftentimes catches people off guard, or, things like that. Anyways, all that aside, I would definitely advise getting it if you haven't, but don't get the Zenning skill, it's not that great. So here goes the 2v1, and the kind of good thing is that I did have that Spirit of Defense up, so I'm fully buffed, which means their ability to actually threaten me if I'm in white is next to none. But I'm not about to just sit here and tank them till my charm dies, so I immediately go Black Voodoo off of Phys'immune, and then here I know that they're not just going to run away because it's a 2v1, so I decided to drop my IG. I'm already in black, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go ham. Now, this guy used a Dew of Star, and trying to kill through a Dew of Star is possible, but really almost always a waste of time. So I switch targets, but then he sparks, which means I get a resisted hit off the first one. And at this point, I probably should be dead, considering that I didn't have Expel right then, but they kind of lagged up and didn't quite close it out. So what I do is, instead of going back to white, which is the safe option, I go black and drop a Purify Expel combo so that I can stay Phys'immune. So at this point I've been Phys'immune for 10 seconds from Psywill, 12 seconds from my IG, and now another 7 or 8 seconds in a row. So I've been able to put out a lot, and I've traded the Apoth off of one of the Sins, which is decent. And here I cycle back into my Psychic Will, and at this point I'm just like, alright, I've got to get this kill or else I'm done, because I'm out of cooldowns at this point. And here, wow, my Cybus ran out. So I was kind of in a very bad situation. I was like, shoot, I'm going to get wrecked because I don't have Apoth. My Genie's, recharging. I'm starting to run low on Chi. As you can see, I almost died right there. Thank goodness for Expel. So I PM'd my friend and I was like, hey, dude, this 1v2 is just not going to end. Like, in my mind I was thinking it's not going to end because every time I try to hit one or the other, they'll spark. Like, if they triple spark, that's like 3 seconds I can't hit them, and I can't close out the kill because then their MDef charms come on cooldown, etc, etc, etc. So I was kind of like, I'm just going to go uber defense mode, build up Chi, and then just have my friend come out here and we'll even out the numbers and it'll be all fine and dandy, is what I thought. So at this point, you notice I put Empowered Vigor on myself. I don't need him diminished on either of them to really get the kill. Like, yeah, it might help, but I'm not concerned about getting the kill, and I'm kind of just in the, I'm going to keep them here until my friend gets here so that I can blow them to smithereens. smithereens. But I'm, sort of building chi and sort of just toying with them at this point. I'm trying to not use my Psychic Will as much as possible because I want to, maintain that chi. And honestly, you look at their hits on my, their Goth critting for like 2Ks? I mean, I don't even know. But against White Voodoo, it's really not that special. But here, I noticed my cooldowns all came back up, and I was like, you know what? I guess we'll try it again. And this time, this guy didn't do a star. I don't know why, if it like hadn't come back up yet or something, but immediately just turned and popped. And at this point, I burst out laughing because I was like, I didn't think that was going to be so easy, but it turned out to be really easy. And then this guy just barely got that in and stealthed. So, yeah, the 2v1 kind of turned into the you people suck at playing assassin. But, I didn't feel bad with what happened next, considering that they'd already ganked me once when I had no buffs. And so my friend shows up, and this dude, he gets wrecked. I'm just sitting here in black, like, waiting for it. And then I believe that's pretty much the end of the 2v1 right now. Okay, so he popped that, but I think, yeah. He pretty much done. Bye-bye. So yeah, you notice because I have good gear and with White Voodoo and buffs, like the two sins cannot hurt me. Like you have to have endgame deity or DOT sins to actually, force pressure against a White Voodoo psychic who has buffs. So yeah, good luck doing that. Or you have to have somebody who can output mega magic damage so that when they fizz immune, it doesn't matter, you just still apply pressure. But anyways, I just wanted to show you guys some of those little fights, and then the next thing you're going to see is I 1v1 to Seeker, because I was like messing around at West, and the Seeker's like, you want to 1v1? So I was like, sure, and I just started fighting him in Black Voodoo, and then I got charm bypassed and died, and I was like, wait, what just happened? So then I was like, wait, we gotta go again. So here's the first round where I was like actually trying hard, because I didn't even use White Voodoo the first time, and I was just like trading blows with the Seeker, which turned out to be a really bad idea. So here's the first real attempt. Now, one thing to note, this isn't a fair fight because this is Demon Seeker, and Demon Seeker is very bad against Psychic. Demon Seeker is, in my opinion, Demon Seeker is just not a good thing at all. But anyways, the fight begins. He uses a Fortify on the stun, so I was thinking to myself, oh, okay, this guy actually has a brain. This is good. I kind of prefer when I actually have to work for my kills. So anyways, I've put Diminished Vigor on him because A, heavy armor, and B, those freaking free 30 whatever defense levels. I think for Demon it might just be 30. But you really do need that extra time to shut down a Seeker. And at this point, I'm kind of waiting to trick him into a solo stunning because, I saw him channeling the Gemini Slash, and I was like, okay, that's a free stun. And he already used Fortify previously, and then somebody trolled and, expelled me, which is really kind of BM, to say the least. But, I mean, it's whatever. It doesn't really cost me a fight. Because I have to turn my faction protections, or certain protections off when I'm PKing with groups, and then when I'm solo I forget to turn them back on. So anyways, what was the bummer was I just basically lost 2 sparks for free, and a solo stunning, and my perfect setup, and now in my head I look at my Diminished Vigor cooldown and realize it's going to run out before I get a perfect setup again to do the all-in. So now I have to wait, which is why I'm in White Voodoo and literally just building chi. And you'll notice the Goth crits still kind of hurt, even in White Voodoo, which is impressive. But that's just kind of why Seekers are broken, is, getting Goth critted by magic damage is terrifying, like, legitimately terrifying. And here, Edge Templar is such an interesting skill, but I really don't know if it's a good option against, I think it might just be not worth spending the 2 sparks if you're fighting a mage who it's really not going to hit that hard. But anyways, so at this point, I've got Diminished Vigor reapplied to him, my solo stunning on cooldown, I've got Telekinesis ready to go. I'm at 3.5 sparks, use a little bit there to cast that, and then I'm pretty much ready to all in. Hopefully this time I won't get troll expelled. So here, I've put it up, he doesn't fortify it, which I'm not sure why, because it should have been well on cooldown by now. You can see the Telekinesis just ticked. Go ahead and drop my Tide Spirit. I'm not feeling the need for damage against this guy as much as I am just the convenience of speed channeling, and I got really lucky with the 50% silence proc, so I get the restun with Vector as well. And then he APOS, so it's like, okay, that's not a bad trade. I was able to pretty much get a cooldown out of it, and here I was trying to expel off Quid Pro Quo, but the problem is the silence from it lasts so dang short that unless you pretty much expel at the instant they also cast it. He miss it, and I ended up expelling myself, but it's whatever because it means he just couldn't all-in me right away. So, at this point, I'm still at 3 sparks. I have my telekinesis back. My diminished figure is about to run out again, which is kind of unfortunate, so I think I might not wait for it, depending. But because I got the soul of stunning, I was just like, whatever. Now, this time I used the 2 sparks because, A, it never hurts to have an extra, 10 to 20k magic attack, and also my tight spirit was still on cooldown. And here, he used oxygen bubble, which was really unique. And the thing was, the first time we fought, he oxygen bubbled my combo, and I didn't notice that he did it, so I wasted like 4 hits out of my Tide Spirit on resists, and I was like, wow, that's dumb. But this time, since I knew he had it on his genie, I just kind of, you'll notice I hit all the earth skills instead and just pretty much ignored the entire oxygen bubble. By the way, if you were going to use an immune, earth would be better, but I don't even know if they have an earth immune, so just throwing it out there. Oxygen bubble might be a waste on a genie. There's very few scenarios where it applies and is actually useful. All that aside, as we can see here, I'm in a good spot. His genie use, I think his genie's up right now, but his apoth, I think, is still down. And he's just kind of throwing out damage. I've got 3 sparks, which is a good sign, so I go ahead and put my telekinesis on. My Dimvig is on for another minute, it looks like. Throw down the Soul of Stunning, he goes straight into it, no fortify. So this should be it. I go ahead and do the 2 spark because I was like, I don't think he has badge or anything like that. So here's the oxygen bubble. You'll see I go straight to landslide instead of a water skill. Spirit blast, and then I missed 1. I used a water skill, but here I just decided, you know what, I'm going to all in, drop my apoth, and he's pretty much toast at that point because, well, his magic defense charms just ran out, and I'm immune to everything. So it was a pretty good fight. Obviously, he needed to do better with the Soul of Stunning, but, this guy's got pretty dang good gear. I didn't realize it when I fought him the first time, so he wrecked me. But anyways, yeah, so there was the 1v1, and I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time.